Thank you very much, Barry, and also Robert for approaching me to make this kind of presentation of my company here in Switzerland. I'm very grateful for having that opportunity to talk to, like-minded people like you guys are within the engineering world, and showing you how I had a vision to change an industry which never changed the product over 60 years, and how we started to conquer that kind of road trip. And I'm starting with a little introduction as the fact I'm starting here in my showroom. I will give you a walk around on my facility. So this is some insights on how we actually produce the guitars and how we precisely take care of any details. As previously when we started, Relish, the goal was to become one of the most boutique premium guitar luthier brands all over the world. And we are competing with very strong brands. And the only way to succeed in this was to, get the history from actually the guitar has been invented in Switzerland and bring that kind of invention back to Switzerland again with innovation. And that was the only way to actually rethink the concept of an electric guitar. And I would like to show you how we succeeded in this. So let me just start with the walk around, and afterwards I will start a presentation. So the guitar, it has this concept of a sandwich construction. Normally a guitar is built out of a solid piece of wood, like this little gadget here, and you cut out an area where you can implement electronics parts, and you cover that with a plastic and screws. So the idea was actually getting the most sustain out of the guitar, and we achieved that by making a sandwich construction. So you have no other guitar where you can just pop off the backlid like this because of the magnets, and then having this center part where it has a direct connection to the neck. And this direct connection is, comparable like a Steinway piano, which has not a connection to the harp and to the wooden part. So it has the most sustain. And that's what we succeeded while having that neck screwed on that middle layer directly, and having the bridge part where the strings go down directly connected to the middle frame as well. And then having the construction floating, that it is not fixed screwed, so it is laying over some rubber rings on 7 positions inside the guitar, as you can see here. And then furthermore, we invented that not only the manufacturers should restrict how the guitar should sound like. As you know, the electric guitar is built on a concept where the metal strings will have an interruption on those magnet fields where you see here 2 pickups. So the interference of those strings to the magnet field will generate the magnetic outcome that you can actually amplify in an amp. So whatever kind of pickup set that you have in here, the guitar is going to sound different. For sure, each guitar has its own unique sound. As a Les Paul and as a Strat, they are beautiful instruments and they're well balanced and they sound great. But they always sound the same way out of this cable. So my invention idea was, as we have now the construction to get access to the guitar, that we also allow to remove those in a second and replace to another one. So you actually change the guitar sound within 2 seconds. And this is the concept that we actually have dreamed over the years, and we succeeded to actually make it work. There already have been solutions that tried to solve it, but never with a very convenient way. So you needed to de-loose the strings, then you need to set up the strings again because you need to get access in the front. And so it is kind of a new concept of our sandwich construction. And I will show you more about this construction in the fabrication. So I will just walk around shortly on our facility, as you are not physically here, I wanted to give you some impression how this looks in our world here. So this is actually where all the meetings happening to have new ideas to conquer the world with new ideas in electrical guitar. My little office area, and then the production with lasering, all the individualization on the products. As we do also customize some kind of stuff with our logo on the fretboard, but also, as you see here, actually a family kind of sign that one father of two sons on the age of 85 wanted to give a gift to his two sons. So that's kind of things that we do individualized. And then we have the setup check here before all the guitars going to be delivered. And that's kind of the dust-free area. And here you have the hall where the magic is happening. So this is all the desk for the sanding part. And inside here is the lacquering. So we just have an area where we hang all the parts of the guitar, and then we sand it and we varnish it on the very most customizable way as possible. Then we have the polishing. We have the program of every employee who is doing what guitar, because important, as we grew, every luthier is responsible for one guitar, and therefore we could increase the quality as well. So here I've set it up some of the parts that I will show you afterwards to give you a more detailed knowledge about how the guitar construction works. And here is all the areas where the luthiers build the guitars together with all their individual tools they need. And then we have also the system for the logistics that, you know, once you have these boxes finished, we have this Kanban where you can scan, and then we can restart ordering the parts that we need until we have the next circle for the next batch of production. So this is all built up within the years, definitely not that kind of system in the beginning. So let me just move over here, and please, if you have any questions about my inputs through the construction, feel free to just text me a message, and I can make it as much exchangeable between us as possible. So let me show you. This is the picture of one of the first guitars that we built. We have tried actually to do multiple aluminum frames as a middle part. This solution here, it's out of 3 prototypes, that's one of it, was one that we connected the neck with the bridge part. There has been 2 other prototypes that we didn't connect this area, so there is an empty area in between, and we had one other solution that didn't even have the connection to the bridge at all. And so we had just the frame. And the best tone output was through this connection. So we developed this one to succeed as a serial production model. And so the chain guitar was the first model that we invented, and we just had this model here. And then we also had not to use the toggle switch, we used the touch, so you can plug it on and off by having a capacity sensor while touching it with your finger to make it on or off on the guitar. That will allow you to have this one on or this one off, and retroverse. Furthermore, this construction, we have gained kind of a hollow body concept with a great tonal output. So still more acoustic output than a standard electric guitar. And then I want to show you the 2021 production, how we do it right now. So this is the chain today. This one is number 1000. So this is the number 1000 boutique guitar that we produced. It was a special event for Relish. It has the golden inlay and all golden parts here as well. And inside, that's the most interesting part, that's the engineering behind it. Again, we did the magnets to pop off the backlid like this. So you just grab it here and pop it off, and then you get access to the guitar. So here, actually, we finalized with a new construction of aluminum center frame where you can get access to these pickup sets. And this is injection molded. So in the beginning, those parts, as you see black, they have been in steel, and we did CNC those parts. And you need to know that actually the pickup sets, they are not looking like this on the back. So this is our invention, that you have all these parts assembled on the top, that you have the ability to adjust the height. I will show you right away. So you can screw it here and you will adjust the height to the strings. And what does it make? If you have the adaptation on the pickup to the string, you will have another signal, an output signal, which is either more high gain or lower on volume. And the pickups here, they are having magnets inside and copper winding. So depending on the amount of copper winding, you will have a different ohm, and this will result in a bigger signal. So you will have a higher ohm output pickup magnet field that results to a hard rock sound. If you just have a very low volume of copper winding, this will have a very lower output on a signal, and you rather use it for jazz, for instance, where the sound needs to more brilliant. So the logical key in the construction that we had and the access to the guitar, as you can pop off the backlid, was to gain this innovation that you can exchange it within seconds. We started this 4 years ago and it didn't work out because the matter of fact, guitarists are purists. They cannot really handle with the most of them with some mechanical parts, and they need to have a tool that is right away understandable and very easy to plug and play. So in the beginning, we had some harness connection that you actually had these old HF connections. You don't even have it here because it is the old version, but it didn't work out. It was just too complicated. So we improved it to another level, and we did it injection molded to scale the volumes. So this kind of injection molding parts, the black ones, are the key to have this solution. And you see it here, there are these springs, and we use parts here as strings. Those springs here, they are feathers, so you can press it on. And they are coming from the medicine industry, so we wanted to use a part that is working for other industries as well, and that is not reliable on the production field only with our innovations, so that we can rely on a very good industry that maintains the production. The only thing that we used is making those pins connected with the wiring, which normally is soldered directly inside the guitar. And we cover this, and we wanted to have a solution that you can have any pickup set assembled with our solution. So this area with the screws is more flexible, so we made it wider because every pickup has different dimensions. And the key was to have the parts separated, that you can turn this one and you can adapt the height. Because when you want to innovate, you don't want to be a compromise to existing solutions, which you already can do, but you need to screw 4 screws on the top of the guitar. And here you just have it on 1 screw. And on the top side, you don't have any screw at all. So the key was then, how are we going to make it plug and play? So we implemented these magnets here that you actually can have a connection to the guitar without interference, the magnet field, which is inside the pickup. So actually, this is not restricting the player, the musician, to buy one guitar and play it just for one genre of music. We wanted to have the vision to allow a musician to experiment with the sounds, and organically, not only with the pedal boards, because you cannot make a Ferrari out of a VW. It's the same in the guitar world. If you want to have a great signal, you need to have it right where the signal starts. And that's where the pickup set is coming in place. So that is the innovation that we have launched like 1.5 years ago, and now we have implemented it in all our guitars. But how is the way on the portfolio from this starting guitar on a chain, which we launched for $6,000 as a premium product, Swiss made, and we won kind of quotes that we are the watchmakers in the guitar business. Also through the fact that you can see inside the guitar as a watch, and you see the engineering inside. But how was the growth happening? So the challenge was this. We need to have an easier way to make the construction even more flexible. And therefore we invented this IMechE model, which you see, it's a cutout of the parts that are crucial into this guitar. So we needed to have a center part which is stable enough to have the 40 kilogram string tension that it will provide to a body part of a guitar to be as stable and consistent as possible. And we achieved that while having still the aluminum part, but making it very easy weight. So that's why we did this cutout area. And then having not the whole block of this dimension, as you see it here, on the whole guitar, and fit it with another layer on the top where you actually can see the construction, and the all-over body concept will go into the outside look, which you see here. So the only thing that you need to see is the little area here, the aluminum frame, where you can even look through on the guitar. So it is pretty clear that this guitar has a floating construction and a different construction than any other guitar. So it doesn't make sense if you do a different construction and people do not really pay attention to it. They need to question, why do they build the guitar like this? And this was reducing costs tremendously in the terms of fabrication. So we were allowed to bring those guitars to the market for $4,000. And we succeeded by having this model to scale the volume. But however, it's still limited. You know, the labor costs in Switzerland are pretty high, and if I'll have a market that I need to grow, I needed to find a partner that is capable to implement my innovation of pickup swapping and also have existing manufacturing skills to produce a solid body guitar. The matter of fact, we launched last year this new model. That's the body of a solid wood part, but with the pickup swapping, without the pickups inside here, as you see. And then you actually can have just a solid body guitar manufacturer and make them implemented with our solution. The guitar, how this collaboration actually worked, we did a research of over 16 builders all over the world who are capable to scale up the volumes and still have an R&D team to make it work. So what we did is we produced those parts, as you see here, and this is the frame that needs to be implemented inside the guitar. So this is nothing new for the manufacturer to build a guitar and just to implement this part here. And we also pre-produce this part, so this will be adapted on the pickup, and then actually we have the pickup setting in a OEM manufactured partner. And this one is built by a company abroad in Indonesia, and it allowed us to even show that any guitar brand all over the world could have this pickup swapping solution. So now, what is the next step? We will probably scale some of those volumes as well, but we will always be limited because we have an individual design. As you know, this guitar doesn't look like 99% of all the guitars worldwide. So we are looking for manufacturers that are interested to get our parts, this solution, and make it to a new standard, because it's the same thing. If you want to change an industry, you will never be capable to do it by yourself. You need to have others to come on board. And if the very interesting part is that you have multiple pickup sets in a box like this, and you change the pickup from one guitar to another, because every guitar has its own voice. You can adapt the voice with the microphone, and that's the versatility that every musician would love. It's the same as you have a smartphone and you have the freedom to upload any kind of program and app on it as you wish to have it customized. And it's the same dream that I have with the guitar, that you have the ability to be not restricted by the manufacturer, just to have a freedom to even assemble these parts by yourself at home with your beloved pickup sets that you have had since ages, but you've never got the chance to implement that in other guitars and to swap it within seconds and actually hear the way much difference in tone. So this is kind of the roadmap that I wanted to show you on the portfolio. On the parts for the production, we have had some other innovations. So the loss of material on a neck is pretty tremendous. As you need to have this angle here, you either have it CNC'd out of one piece, and you can imagine this is kind of this size of a block to get the angle involved on a full neck body. And what we then achieved is we bent it, so the solution behind it is that you have a blank only half size, and you bend it like the ship industry, where you bend the neck wood and then you CNC it afterwards. No one ever came to that idea, and you have 50% loss of material through that little adaptation on the process of manufacturing. So you actually can stand on it. Need to see if you can see it, but it won't break. On any other neck, if you CNC it with out of one piece, you have all the grains braked here. So this is the weakest spot. And once you crack down the guitar from a guitar stand, it immediately will break in this area. And you can see a number of pictures online where this actually happens. It never happens on this way. So it's saving material costs, and it's a very simple way to make it happen. Another innovation is this little part here. So that's standard. It's tropical wood because it's very hard and high density. And that's needed because you press metal strings on a wood, and you don't want to have this wood area pressed inside that it will have like a curve within years playing. So this tension needs to require a high density on fretboard. We achieved this while having the frets here, and the bamboo fretboard is the solution. So this is high density resin included, a mixture of bamboo phrases, and it is harder than any tropical wood, and it is cheaper. So it is not a problem with all the environmental issues, and this is very sustainable because bamboo is growing within a year like a tremendous amount. So we have a patent on this, we have a patent on the bent neck, and we have the patent on the pickup swapping. So these three innovations are the core of our innovations that we would be able to scale on a bigger volume with all the partners. Let me also show you into the more detail of construction. There is a question, what is your view on carbon fiber and how have you tried using it at all? Yeah, carbon fiber is interesting material, also the density and the construction and the fibrance behind it. There already has been some luthiers doing full body and neck all in one with that material. It is promisingly, yes, but it's also less weight. But the problem with less weight is also that you have a missing stability, so that the body part is too low of a weight compared to the neck construction with fretboard and frets and tuners on the neck, that you always have the guitar too heavy on your hand while you play. So you definitely can work it out with some construction on the body, but it is a very interesting material, and we didn't do it for now because most of the musicians, they love to have wood on their hand. And the wood is a different vibrance and kind of another swinging element. But also having the fact that we used aluminum combined with wood is already a niche market. So whenever we do a new material, you need to know that you do not attract the most of the clientele in our industry. So this is the construction on the aluminum as you see it on the chain. What we do afterwards, then when we glue these parts here together, just show you. We glue those together, and then we do the lasering on the backside, so you get access to this guitar from the backside. So here, the construction on this is 5 layers of ash wood, and the top and back with the veneer that the customer loves to have. So this is fabricated by another company because we do not have the capability to scale up this in a higher volume, and it's kind of an investment to get the gauges out of this. The company in Germany who's doing that. And there is a company from Switzerland where we do this aluminum frame, all CNC'd out of one part. And within the time, we improved the weight with these cutouts, and we increased the stability. And also, we wanted to have some visual part on it. So it's the cut of Geneva that you also see in watches that is implemented here on the top side, where you can actually see the guitar. Here is the other construction. So I've seen a question, do you do experiments with different aluminum alloys or metal for the frame? The right frame construction is hard to get and to be solid enough, yeah. And you could compromise the sound. So this is, we did some experiments on this middle part here. So it's out of 2 parts that you screw together to get the stability. The middle frame here is giving the tension, and the outer frame is giving the resonance for achieving the most sustain and versatile sound. It doesn't help you if you just have high end and high frequency output and you're missing all the low end. So this is an experimental. In a guitar making, you cannot have a program that can tell you this is the perfect output out of a guitar, because if you make this angle like this and this. So it is kind of experimenting on a knowledge base that you just try and error. So this is on this construction. And it resulted to this guitar that I played in the beginning with a top veneer like this. That's African marble. It has this 3-way switch to select the pickups here. It has the tone and volume, the bamboo fretboard, the bent neck where you see all the grains going through the guitar from the top to the bottom. We use stainless steel frets. It's very hard to sand and make it very smooth with playing. And so this is, the access point with the magnets, same as on the chain. So you just grab it and you pop it off and you get access to the guitar like this. So this is the detail on the guitars. So let me switch over to the presentation slide because I wanted to show you some of the history in guitar making. how did we achieve to make, be quoted as a change maker in our industry? It is that we worked with influencers. As you see here, one video had already over 1 week, over 3 million views, and it crashed our website, and we got overwhelmed by so many requests just because of one video that kicked off. And if you do on YouTube, you will see one of those videos, and we are very blessed that these kind of influencers believe into our solution. The matter of fact, though, the first guitar has been invented 1932 by a Swiss guy, Rickenbacker and Michael Bonchon from Basel. They invented the electrified first guitar, and it's actually looking like a frying pan. It is Swiss-made with Swiss resources. So here you see, by this year, we will have a Trinity for 1,300. We will decrease the prices to get even more volumes, and the market price fitting is working best at this price point. We have the Merry One with all the innovations, most of them. Then the Merry, the difference is just the silhouette, as you see the white edge and the full cover of veneers and the more curved body front. Then the Chain, where we do not have the touch control system on that pricing. And then we have Platinum Series, which are customized middle layer colors and individual designs and so on. And by this year, I will have all the dealers worldwide, which are Relish partners, implemented with our custom builders. So they will have the ability to have our customizing tool on their website. So therefore, we will be more closer to the customer, and we will get a PDF of the inquiry, what the customer would like to get, and we can do all the sales process within the existing sales channels, including distribution. We do some marketing, but the most of it is influential with videos and influencers. We had an issue with the branding. For sure, we wanted to make sure that the Trinity, as we do not produce it here, is an endorsed branding. So we kicked it off with Trinity by Relish, and it worked pretty well. Did you use to refine the design of your guitars? Any technique? Well, definitely we wanted to succeed in not copying any other guitar, because that's what many luthiers do. You can get a custom kind of Stratocaster or a custom Les Paul by so many luthiers all over the world. And they are limited to, maybe 100 guitars a year, but they make very great instruments, and I didn't want to compete with them. And as also the fact I believe it should be kept by the originals. So if you buy a Les Paul, buy it from Gibson. If you buy a Strat, buy it from Fender. And, to succeed in that, we wanted to have a new design, a new approach. And I believe the designs are unique. It's a niche market. And it will be the challenge to get more to the traditional shapes, but not copying existing shapes, and still having our identity, the copyright identity of Relish. And I'm very excited about this upcoming new designs of new guitars. And this is another technique that I could tell you, this is how we do it. It's a brainstorming process with everyone involved, as the manufacturers and as a brand strategy guy, and me with a vision of the brand. So it's a mixture of everything, I guess.
Have you considered adapting some of your techniques for acoustic guitars?
Oh yeah, I see it. The acoustic guitar is, even a bigger market. It's about 1.8 billion. So it's bigger than electrical guitar, and it is an industry that is very interesting. And actually, from where I come from, I played acoustic since the beginning, and I still do, and I love it because I'm more the kind of singer-songwriter guy. In acoustic, manufacturing is way much more complicated to achieve a very great sounding guitar. On a luthier standpoint of view, I would love to redesign a concept, but the most of it already has been achieved construction-wise. And as you're not playing around with the electronic parts, it will be different innovations, added value to kind of many startups in how to amplify an acoustic guitar and how to bring it sound on stage and so on. It already taken place. And maybe it would be a collaboration with one of those companies with a special unique guitar design on an acoustic guitar. I'm very looking forward to have that in my portfolio within the years, but there is no plan yet to conquer that field, because I don't want to diversify me too much in the beginning and focus to my industry and first succeed on that field and then move to other ones.
Silvan, Bob here from IMechE Switzerland. Can I just make one point on the acoustic element? Most interestingly, your guitar can switch from acoustic signals to rock, hardish rock. So you could have a track like Tears in Heaven from Clapton, and he could simulate the acoustic guitar, and then he could switch and do something traditionally creamy like Crossroads or something, all on one instrument. And I guess this was also part of your rationale in the beginning.
It was a coincidence, actually. In the beginning, we just had this sandwich construction, and we have realized that the vibrance on the top of our guitar, especially on the bridge area, through that construction has a very great resonance of the sandwich construction. And so we tried it to have it implemented on saddles here to get the acoustic signals. So we implemented a GraphTech piezo system into our construction, and the output was amazing. So you can even have it compared with a real acoustic sound as well. So that's why the need to go into the acoustic guitar world right now is not that urgent, because we already have kind of it, at least on a stageable point of view, that you don't need to switch from one acoustic to electric guitar within, minutes to change it and get the setup done and collaborate it with all the other musicians. You have it all in one guitar and ready to play. And yeah, Robert, you're right. This is a very core benefit. Once you get our guitar, you can have it splitted to an acoustic amp and to an electric amp. You can play both signals. Please tell me a little bit more about how the picks are especially unique other than the other mounting, which would be appealed to other guitar luthiers and players. So the pickup sets normally are fully installed like this. So you have the wiring from the pickup here directly soldered on the electronic parts inside the guitar. So there is no chance to, get it off. And it has usually these wings and fixed screws on the top where it's fixed in the guitar. And this part here, pretty simple. It is this part injection molded, having this metal part where you can screw, adjust the height, and you have this frame, and actually one part that is on the pickup. So you have here one black plate here with this stabilization points that this won't shake around, because as you screw, you don't want to have it messing around inside the guitar, so it needs to be fixed. And this plate, we cut off the wings on the side, as you see it here on the existing pickup. We sand off all the screws, and we adapt the existing screw holes with our plate. And the very interesting part is this part here is underneath the plate on the pickup. So it's covered inside. You see that a hole, and so it can, this part here, it can float underneath that plate. So there is a little air area that it actually can float and you can screw. And everything on the top is the magnets, and then the frame, which you have just installed with 4 screws. Here, 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 and here, inside the guitar, laying in the guitar. And we put it in the holes with magnets, and we have this connection here on the opposite part to the springs. As you see it here, the springs. And they soak into that placeholder here, which are also golden and very great for connection. And then you have it only on one side that it can be fitted in. So you have it here a gap, and here you have the pins. And here is another area that doesn't allow you to actually have it retroverse in it, because it would not fit into that area here. So it doesn't work like this. And then you have the connection from the pickup to the guitar. Pretty simple. Customization aspect and the market, what are the challenges startup face in the music industry? Yeah, the request is way much more into custom guitars in the future. And that's why I wanted to have this custom builder online, that everyone can have an access to, order an individual combination of colors and hardware. But it's also, our construction is limiting the options of customization inside the body, because we cannot have a CNC adapted aluminum frame if the customer wants to have a tremolo, for instance. So that's not possible for us. So we are limiting ourselves into the construction that we invented. So the next chapter will be to have a solid body guitar that even allows more customization to be more closer to the market. And yes, we also have requests for bass guitars, and it would be nice to provide those with our guitars, but it is a high investment to get one of those guitars in our portfolio. And as it is a niche market, yet it doesn't make it work to, have one of the basses. But I'm pretty sure once we have the pickup swapping solution on a solid body and more freedom to customize, we will also come up with a bass as well. With the 2 pickup sets, which can be custom made, could there soon be new music genre? Well, there is also inventions of different pickup sets that it is not made with magnets, it is made with platines and different layers of platines. So Fishman did that kind of innovation and allows already multiple sounds and options. It's a different approach. And definitely pickups organically like this is still a huge opportunity. You can adapt a little magnet, all Nico 2, all Nico 4, or whatever you want to do, and you will have a tremendous different sound and even different windings and all these parts. Yeah, there could be more sounds, and you can generate different music in the future. Most likely, though, you will have a very organic, nice toning guitar, and then you will have other, digital adaptations into the sound to make it even more spaced out to create new music. Is there any decrease of the life of guitar due to using pickup sets? So this is a very good question. No, there is always a need to have one individual guitar with a different shape, with a different top design that you would love, and it has its unique sound. The only thing that you achieve with the pickup swapping is to individualize that original sound of a guitar. And it is way much easier to buy another pickup set for $200 or $300 instead of buying so many guitars. It's even a trouble logistical-wise, yes. But it still needs to be in different guitars, and it always will need to have different guitars, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, favorite guitar player, I would love to have Eric Clapton here in the audience. Is he here? No, we were kidding about this previously to the call. Yeah, I mean, he's a legend, and one of those legends to provide with one of our guitars, that would be, being amazing. But there are so many new talents, and everyone has its own reach and a tremendous big reach. So influencers all over the world are so inspiring, and the guys that we collaborate with already That's so interesting to see so many versatile musicians. Yeah, it makes me happy. Elegance of it, thank you very much. Yeah, we have challenges with traditionalists. We will never be able to only get a customer who only plays Les Paul. He probably will stick to these guitars till ever. And I love this. If you are a brand lover, you keep being into this brand, and I love it. It's the best that you can achieve. Nevertheless, I realized that more and more young people are attracted to our designs and our concept of innovation. And nevertheless, I would love to get more traditionalists on board, and maybe within a portfolio increase in the future, we will achieve that as well. We are unique in the design. It's very modern, and I'm looking forward to even more traditional designs in the future as well. Can you smash your amp with your guitars? Yeah, that's a good question. I guess the amp will probably crash before the guitar because of our aluminum. And I think the time is gone that you actually smash instruments, because this has been a rebellious kind of signal from musicians, because the guitars has been produced so cheap and pure and non-quality that this was also a sign of resistance for some of the musicians who did this. So I hope with the value within our guitar comes with, this is not going to happen that much. But however, I can sell one more guitar then.
My students keep asking this question because they love to go start a music business, and I have shown this about your company to my students some time back. What I want to ask you is, what are the challenges of a startup in the music business?
Well, the biggest challenge was to get any data about the industry, and to very much know where is the market, and if you have the niche market that is appealing to your products. The good thing, though, for startups in the musical industry, if you use social crowdfunding platforms and you can transfer your innovation to an audience on those platforms, it's pretty much appealing to these platforms, even if it's Kickstarter or any other platform, and you can try your idea on such platform. And then furthermore, it's a challenge to get investors in that field, because it's a niche market for investors, and in the startup field, it's not that known. As we all know, it's ICT and medtech, but musical startups, it's actually a very big market, but it's underestimated within the field of investors. So that's a challenge. We did some testing in terms of the design development. It's not only the expert ear, that's the 90% of a decision to make it work or not, but there is also technical ways to do it. So what we once did, we did this chain construction, and we tested the sustain and tone range of this guitar compared with other guitar concepts. That was with a scientific proven agency officially from Switzerland, IMechE, and the solution was amazing. So we have gained such a big range of tone and volume output compared to any other guitar that we checked and compared it with. Well, the future will be depending on how exchangeable it will be, depending on how many luthiers and guitar manufacturers will join our field with this innovation. And that's my goal. I don't want to have it restricted only with my company. For sure, it is kind of a cannibalizing issue if I'll allow this uniqueness to other brands. But to me, that's the freedomness for musician. That's the biggest goal. And if someone others is using this innovation and providing the versatility of it to his customer base, the more I've reached the goal to change part of the industry. Yeah, the tremolo arm, that's the thing that what I mentioned. We don't have it. And the question is why? You have the aluminum frame, and if you want to implement the tremolo system, it will interfere the feathers that will be inside the guitar here on my face area, where we actually have the pickup swapping area. So the tremolo is the system that you can lower and have a tension difference on the strings. By lowering it, the bridge, or higher it, and then you have you know, a different sound on the guitar. You can have 1-2 octaves differences by using this tremolo arm. But there are some also solutions of other bridges that will most likely have a chance in the future to be compatible with our solution as well. So things are improving by suppliers of those parts as well, and to not use that kind of a big room inside the body because we are limited through our construction. What's about lamps to show chords for a particular tone for beginners? Well, that was, I'm mentioning, just another idea of some companies that you have one chord with, you know, 4 fingers on the guitar. We don't have this solution though. I just tell you about this idea. And as you have the G chord, there would be LED lights on the fretboard on each position of each finger that you can press, and you will actually have the right sound. And you can have it done like the G here and the G here. And it's interesting, but it is also construction-wise a compromise for the playability. Well, Hank Marvin, he's probably happy with the guitar lines that he's playing right now. That's the thing. If you have, you know, the icons and legends, they already have a kind of collaboration with existing partners, and I don't want to interfere to this, but I'm happy to provide a guitar. Whoever big musician you know, you can always let me and drop a message. I'll be happy to assist in this. How can I adjust the action of the fretboard? Well, what you can do, the truss rod here, you can adjust the neck position. So still with the bent neck and the bamboo fretboard, you can adjust the angle of the straight neck as well. But then to adjust the angle on the neck itself, actually you need to underlay something on this pocket edition here, which some of the customers did if they really want to have a different angle. So it's not implemented in this construction that you can actually change the angle, but it could be done construction-wise if very much needed. And yeah, the same as on the saddles to adjust the height of the strings, if that would help.